Hello and welcome to Old Nerd Reads his Marvel Comics in Order. This is episode 96, and this time I read Marvel Team Up number 54, the February 1977 issue. That intro was me doing my best Fantasy Island impression. For those of you who aren't old nerds and weren't around for primetime television in the late 70s, Fantasy Island was a television show, really good one. Let me have a little sip of this Americano. That's the way to get things going. This is John Byrne's second issue. This isn't him. This isn't his cover though. This looks like Gil Kane. It's kind of hard to tell by Spider-Man, but the face on the Hulk looks Gil Kane to me. Anybody out there know? Like I said, this is John Byrne's second issue. Still written by Bill Mantlo. It'll soon be taken over by Chris Claremont, though. The writing will be. Him and John Byrne will have a short run on here just prior to X-Men or at the same time as X-Men. It's I think there's a bit of an overlap there as far as how many titles they were working on at that time. But for the time being, Bill Mantlo is still writing this issue. And the more I get into this story, rereading it now that I'm older, and having read issues from the late 40s or earlier in this video series, Bill Mantlo did a 4-issue run that had like Doctor Doom, the Scarlet Witch, the Vision, and Moondragon. And it was a big, long time travel thing. And it was early on in the Marvel pushed for multi-issue stories instead of just single-issue, one-and-done stories that a lot of readers were asking for. And that was kind of like Bill Mantlo established a pretty good formula with that. Now that I'm reading this nowadays, looking back on it, I think that this is the same kind of thing, because it kind of started in the Marvel Team Up Annual -- 1 with the X-Men and Peter Parker flying over the desert, and they end up in the desert. And then then back to Marvel Team Up number 53, and it picks up where the end of Marvel Team Up Annual 1 leaves off as they're flying home. The X-Men and Spider-Man are flying home, and Spider-Man, I forget what exactly the reason was, but he wanted to get pictures basically of the Hulk or Wood God or whatever at this base in the desert. So the X-Men drop him off in the desert. So he's there last issue. He meets Wood God and the Hulk there. And then this issue continues it, but now we're inside the base. And then the next issue is guest starring Warlock, because Spider-Man gets launched into space at the end of this one. So it's kind of the same multi-issue story arc formula that Bill Mantlo used a couple issues back. So now that I'm reading my comics in order and I'm able to pick up on that kind of thing, I'm curious to move ahead and get into some more Bill Mantlo, because he wrote, like, he's started writing a lot at this era of Marvel, and he's going to continue writing a lot all through like the early mid 80s. I think he does a lot of comics. He writes quite a few. So I'm curious to see, as I read through my collection and stuff that he's written, if he follows this formula, refines this formula, this multi-issue. Each issue is a continuation, but we're in a new setting. I can't really describe it any better than that, but I'm curious to see what he does with it as we keep on reading through the years of my Marvel Comics collection. So, yep, we're down in Tranquility Bay. Well, not quite down in Tranquility Base. At the end of the last issue, the Hulk and Wood God were about to pummel Spider-Man. We've got these government agents that are in this town. It's a ghost town now. They're doing some sort of military testing. But this is a great big old John Byrne double-page spread. Got Spider-Man swinging into action. Meanwhile, the double-page spread of the net getting thrown over the Hulk and Wood God. And then Spider-Man swinging in over here. But they get him, and the net's actually able to hold them. But Spider-Man sets them free because he doesn't trust these shady government people. That's some really cool John Byrneism right there. Whenever he would draw like mech armor, like Iron Man, stuff like that, it was always really, it was kind of, I don't know, it had a unique style to it. And this is pretty indicative of that style, and an early version of it, actually. But he draws a bunch of men like dressed up like that in here for this government laboratory. Hulk and Wood God subdued finally, despite Spider-Man trying to free them. Spider-Man subdued as well. Now we find out who's in charge here. This is Major Del Tremens. He's in charge of this military test that's going on in the desert. But what they're going to do is they're going to launch Hulk into space in a rocket. Is what they're going to do. But Spider-Man's able to trick him, saying that he has a camera. He has his camera on his belt, and he's been taking pictures all along. So he's got picture proof of what's going on. So they open up the containment suit, and he busts out. Tricked him. He's still got like the manacles on his hands and feet. So he's got to fight with them on. It's kind of funny seeing him run with that stuff. But John Byrne, just, I don't know, something about the way John Byrne draws it. It looks cool. Lets out Wood God. Wood God knocks off the manacles for him because Wood God's super tough, super strong. I don't know much about Wood God. He was in an issue or two of Marvel Premiere, I guess, before these couple issues of Marvel Team Up, and I don't know that he did much more after that or not. Now we're letting the Hulk out. They've got a helmet on him, keeping him gassed. Spider-Man flicks it with his super strong, proportionate strength of his spider fingers. Breaks the helmet. Hulk gets out. This is some great early John Byrne Hulk. Like he didn't draw the Hulk in this style for long. He always kind of evolved the Hulk's look over the years as he drew him. But this is a cool version of him. John Byrne had several cool versions of the Hulk over the years, I think. But of course they try and say, like, that does not look like John Byrne right there. The mouth, the jaw does, but I don't know, the eyes, nose don't really. Anyway, Hulk gives him a sonic thunderclap by clapping. He falls into the pit. Wood God sacrifices himself to blow up the cannon. Spider-Man falls into the rocket that's meant for the Hulk. And Major Tremens locks him inside, blasts him off. The Hulk says he's gonna oh, I said pit earlier. I meant the silo, missile silo. The Hulk is going to save Spider-Man, jumps on the side of the rocket. He gets just about to the nose cone, and they separate. And Hulk jumps down and says, "Goodbye, friend." And Wood God's still inside the base. And he gets to punch out Major Tremens, because Major Tremens, I guess, is actually probably responsible for the death of Wood God's parents in Marvel Premiere. So he at least gets to punch him out for that, and then he leaves. And then, we're just with the cliffhanger of Spidey knocked out unconscious. He hit his head against the console. He's running out of oxygen, and on his way into space. Like, what a great comic book cliffhanger ending. Your hero just got launched into space. What an adventure he's been on, from a plane flying over the southwestern desert to Las Vegas, to fighting gods with the X-Men, to flying home with the X-Men, only to jump off in this deserted desert town and meet up with the Hulk and the Wood God, and then get launched into space. I mean, that's great stuff. But next issue is Warlock. And still Bill Mantlo is writing it. I'm wondering if that's his final issue on the title, and then Chris Claremont takes over after that. It's got to be soon, if not after next issue. It's got to be real soon, I think. So that's a great issue, and my copy's probably in very fine condition, not bad at all. These John Byrne issues of Marvel Team Up are like some of my earliest, fondest memories of. Now that was not really knowing much about comics at the time, but thinking, now that, because my cousin had a bunch, and when we'd get together at like Thanksgiving or Easter time, when the families would get together, I'd get to read his comics, and these were some of the ones I read, and just left a very strong impression on me as far as the artwork and the story and everything. So we're getting into fond memory territory here with these couple issues of the Hulk, with Marvel team up with guest starring the Hulk. Anyway, if you get all teary-eyed over old comic books like I do, and you're an old nerd, why, please subscribe. Pass it along to another old nerd friend of yours if you think they'd enjoy the video, and leave me a like, comment down below with your thoughts, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.